And everyone's saying, oh, is Trump losing MAGA? No, I'm not losing MAGA. MAGA loves what I'm doing.
And Donald Trump did win the election from support from a lot of people who were non-interventionists. So they were sick of these forever wars. They didn't want involvement in Iran. So if they hear about bridges and they hear about power plants, whether there's the F word there or not, then they're going to think that that sounds a little bit like escalation.
Well, Trump's out here saying that he hasn't lost any MAGA support over his war in Iran. I mean, let's just sidestep the fact that the lady that once had Biden react like this, she was so in-your-face MAGA, turning on him.
This is absolutely absurd, and it's 100% a betrayal to what MAGA was supposed to be when we voted in 2024, and it's turned into some perverted, deranged version of MAGA now that nobody wants. And a lot of people are just like, this doesn't make sense. And I'll go further, Pamela. We love our military, and God bless the men and women serving, and we love their families, and we do not want to see flag-draped coffins coming home in a war that does nothing for our own homeland.
I will not vote for a war supplemental. No, I am a no. I've already told leadership I am a no on any war supplementals. I am so tired of spending money elsewhere. I am tired of the industrial war complex getting all of our hard-earned tax dollars. I have folks in Colorado who can't afford to live. We need America First policies right now, and that I'm not doing that. We need the Save America Act, FISA with warrants. There's a lot of hard lines that I have right now, and we've got to get our act together if we want to keep this majority. And the path that we're going doesn't look very promising.
How about the Wall Street Journal? Rupert Murdoch's Wall Street Journal, should I add? Are they MAGA enough? Because if you are to look into their coverage and opinions from their editors, doesn't seem like they're buying into this war either. As the president ups the vulgarity regarding his rhetoric surrounding this war and continues to just snap at reporters who dare ask him about said Truth Social posts, it seems like pushback against Donald Trump's Iran war isn't only coming from the fake news, as he would like to say. It's coming from everywhere all at once. Allies, military leadership, and the public, as well as even traditionally conservative media outlets.
So we're just getting this right now. We were reporting 2 hours ago that they're indefinitely talking. Absolutely was the comment I got. Wall Street Journal is reporting right now that Iran has cut off the diplomacy with the United States. It's just one line. I don't have much more detail about that at all. But that's just crossing the wires right now.
So, I mean, publicly, they've done that throughout. And still, we've had conversations with people inside the administration that say, here's what's happening. Here's the communication. Here's what's going on. So, you know, what's the public Iran and the private Iran? Don't know. I do know there's a deadline, and I have a feeling that it's going to be met.
My source, we're absolutely in touch with Iran. We are absolutely. It's been productive. That was 2 hours ago. Maybe it's the same, maybe not.
To Rick Shemek. Rick is an Air Force vet as well. He's also the commander here. Rick, we heard President Trump being asked about blowing up civilian infrastructure, the bridges and the power plants, and he argued that's not a war crime. I mean, what do you make of President Trump's rhetoric on that issue? Do you think that is the way the commander-in-chief should be conducting himself in this war?
I'm totally against it. It's a war crime. I mean, how do you win a war by destroying the country? It's just, he even said it. It would take years to rebuild the infrastructure that he wants to blow up tomorrow. So let's hope they negotiate and this never happens.
And Rick, I also heard when Secretary Hegseth was praising President Donald Trump about this rescue mission, saying that this rescue mission couldn't have been done without him. I heard you grumble, here we go again. What do you make of Secretary Hegseth and his leadership right now?
It's the same as before. He's a cheerleader.
Including notably the Wall Street Journal, which is not exactly known for being anti-war or anti-Republican. In one article, they hit back at the president for claiming victory, touting dominance over Iran's airspace, which we now know wasn't to be the case.
They have no anti-aircraft equipment. Their radar is 100% annihilated. We are unstoppable as a military force.
And in the wake of yet another verbal attack directed at NATO. One of the journal's top editors tore into Trump's strategy as effectively incoherent.
Yesterday, Hegseth surprised the Pentagon and White House by firing the Army Chief General Randy George, a respected close ally of Army Secretary Dan Driscoll. Multiple sources tell us the removal has to do with Secretary Hegseth's rivalry with Dan Driscoll, who is a close ally of Vice President J.D. Vance and was considered on the short list to replace Hegseth at one point, Laura.
The Journal have pointed out an issue that we've been highlighting here across several videos on Meidas is nobody knows what the strategy is. I mean, Trump is threatening to escalate, threatening to destroy Iranian infrastructure, but then simultaneously claiming victory and suggesting that the war's nearly over. It doesn't seem like a plan. That's contradictory messaging in real time.
No longer, he has just threatened Iran in extraordinary graphic terms, giving the Iranian regime just over a day to either make a deal, reopen the Strait of Hormuz, or face hell. If your children are watching, be warned, the president did not use polite language. Quote, Tuesday will be power plant day and bridge day, all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the fucking strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. We should note that destroying civilian power infrastructure is generally considered to constitute a war crime.
And even political allies to the president are saying it out loud.
War, chaos, violence, and more unsafe world comes to mind. But if we're being honest, that's also the world that we're living in now with the UN. So my friends across the street worry that with President Trump's peacemaking,
and then there's NATO. Trump continues to attack those countries who don't support his war in Iran, all while finding a way to insult key leaders within the NATO alliance and their spouses, it seems. Who would have thought this would be the case, right? After months of insults directed at those countries, all while threatening to annex sovereign nations tied to NATO countries, the likes of Germany, the UK, and others saying they won't rush to the aid of the Trump administration.
Okay, the new threat from the president is that a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. You say the president doesn't want to do it. Does being reluctant to end a civilization make it okay?
Again, I don't think we're talking about ending a civilization. The issue.
So you don't believe? Are you saying you don't believe? Congressman, do you say you don't believe the president's threat? Do you say you don't believe the president's threat?
Infrastructure. It is their energy infrastructure and their civilian infrastructure, including roads and bridges. That will cripple the Iranian regime and certainly their economy. That is not something we want to do because, as Ron Johnson said rightly, we are not at war with the Iranian people. We want them to be free from this oppression and tyranny that they have lived under for 47 years. But if the president has to take necessary action to strike their energy and infrastructure, that is going to cripple the regime. That is what he is talking about.
You don't believe a threat. You don't take him at his word that he will end a whole civilization.
He is talking about the energy and civilian infrastructure. That's what he's talking about, John.
Is he? Have you had a conversation with him about that? He says, never to be brought back again. He just means the bridges and the infrastructure?
Again, John, we're talking about taking decisive action against Iran's energy and civilian infrastructure. That is what the president is talking about. He's not talking about obliterating innocent people.
And on home soil, it's not like he's gaining support either. 66% of Americans want the war ended quickly, even if goals aren't met. Only 14% support sending ground troops to Iran, and around 60% disapprove of strikes on Iran. That's not exactly a divided country, and it doesn't show broad support that Trump is claiming he has.
Leadership, let me just clarify my question. So this is a leadership that has killed 1,500 American soldiers, maimed 4,500. They have, through proxies,
they're an evil regime. You're
carried
not gonna...
off October 7th, the Beirut Marine barracks bombing.
Yes, they're horrible.
At what point? So you really think that they're going to suddenly decide to give these things up if they are not threatened with actual consequences?
We had, before the president went in, gas was at $2.30 a gallon. It's gone up to $4. Before we went in, the Strait of Hormuz was open. The Strait of Hormuz is closed. Before we went in, 13 Americans had not lost their lives.
In 4 weeks.
And we have a situation where we've replaced Khamenei with Khamenei Jr., who is even a greater hardliner. And we've empowered the IRGC, which is a military terrorist organization. We've made Iran become a more hardline state. And the enriched uranium is still buried underground.
Okay, so let me ask you something. So don't ever stand up and fight against this, what you just called an evil regime. What do you suggest? Because we've had 47 years of weakness on this front.
I don't think America should go in and start declaring war against every evil regime in the world. Should we go and declare war against Putin? Should we go and declare war against every dictatorship? What we should have done is had tough diplomacy that would have actually gotten rid of the enriched uranium.
How has that worked so far? How has that worked so far?
Well, it was working until Trump ripped up the deals. And the reality is, Martha, do you really believe that
this isn't just about one editorial either, or Paul? It's about a pattern that we are seeing. It spans across the political spectrum, and it completely contradicts the very narrative coming from the White House.
And everyone's saying, oh, is Trump losing MAGA? No, I'm not losing MAGA. MAGA loves what I'm doing. And CNN did a poll of MAGA voters, a big poll, very important poll, Harry. And he went on, he said, this is amazing, 100% support.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.